Back with me now, Alex Lawson, the Executive Director of Social Security Works, the convening member of the Strengthen Social Security Coalition. Alex, thanks for joining us today.
Julianna, thanks for having me.
So let's just get right into it. What are your thoughts on the second impeachment trial so far?
The first thing that I do wish more people understood is that it's not a court of law, right? And we talk about it in like court of law terms because there's a jury, all the senators, but it's not a court of law because the Republicans are going to vote to not impeach him. They're not going to, quote unquote, convict him. That doesn't mean he's acquitted. Doesn't mean anything about the facts. It just means that these Republicans are cowards. They're more scared of Donald Trump and his minions than they are sort of understanding their duty to this country. So it's just a bunch of cowards in the Republican Party who are going to vote, even though Donald Trump literally tried to get them killed. And the evidence that is rolling in, these videos that are coming, are just unbelievable. And to watch that and to understand, especially the Mike Pence stuff. I mean, Donald Trump just sicked a mob on his own vice president. And if they had caught him, they would have torn him to shreds. Mitt Romney was in mortal danger. Nancy Pelosi was in mortal danger. That's what was going on. Donald Trump. Well, and let me say what this looks like. I think people don't understand how like easy a coup is because they're like, oh, it wasn't a coup. There weren't even any tanks. This is what would have happened if the mob had gotten their hands on a single senator or Mike Pence, ripped him shred to shred. Ripped him to shreds, put him on the gallows that they erected outside the Capitol and hanged him until he was dead, which is what they were chanting. Donald Trump would have shut the country down. He would have declared martial law and he would have kept on power. He would have, at the very least, the vote wouldn't have been certified that day, and it would give him and his goons more time to try to take over this country and become a dictator.
Yeah, my
That's what was going on.
Is that he would have declared Executive Directive 51 and suspend that transfer of power. 51 actually automatically reelects the incumbent president if it is implemented between Election Day and Inauguration Day. And the worst part of that is that if he had served a term under that directive, those terms don't count against term limits that, were set in the 22nd Amendment. So we could have had Trump for 8 more years.
Yeah. And I just think, what we could have had is Trump forever. Right. I mean, that would have been the death.
He would have found a way.
Yeah, that would have been the death of America. Right. Like we have this conception that like, oh, it can't happen here. It absolutely can happen here. Our constitutional government is quite old, one of the oldest in the world. And the reason it's one of the oldest in the world is because other ones get overthrown all the time, or they have to rewrite their constitution to deal with outside factors. Like our government is very fragile, and it's based on power, but also on respecting the type of government that we've chosen, a representative democracy. So
thank God these people were not good at cooing or whatever you want to call it. I mean,
yeah, I had this.
The international community, what kind of response would we have seen if there was a Mike Pence hanging from a gallows? I mean, we would have lost all of our standing at all and have become a North Korea.
We lost an enormous amount of standing as is, enormous amount of standing. I mean, they, like, how can we hold ourselves? How can we lecture other countries about what to do when this is what's going on? We are no longer the beacon of Western democratic ideals. I mean, I think that transfer was underway during Trump, I think Germany and in like our narrative, what that comes off as is the leader of the free world. And I think that Trump abrogated that. I think people are making themselves believe things are more complicated than it is. Like Donald Trump, that dude loved dictators, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he used
like
to
there
read
wasn't.
Mein Kampf on his. It was on his nightstand. His first wife said every day of their marriage, Mein Kampf was on the nightstand.
Yeah, and also just his public statements. He'd be like, "Oh, I love this dictator. I love that dictator. Oh, our allies, they're terrible. I'm going to do everything right." Like he did not believe in the Western, and I don't think he does. And I still think
I
he's trying to
personally
foment
believe
this
he
too.
was the reincarnation of Mussolini. So, it's possible.
Yeah, I think he's just as silly as Mussolini. I think possibly less dangerous than Mussolini. He-
Oh, well, just give him time,
yeah,
Alex. I'm sure he
exactly.
would have
We
come around.
we don't know. I would say Berlusconi is an apt comparison as well. But
I'm so
Berlusconi.
embarrassed for my people.
I know.
That's two Italians. Let's move to some other.
I was sticking in Italy, though. I wanted to be like, yeah. But so the impeachment trial that's underway is actually Donald Trump is correct. It's a PR thing because the Democrats know that these Republican senators are cowards. The party apparatus at the state level on the Republican side are Trumpists. They're not actually, they're not Mitch McConnell, big government. Both sides are terrible in this like who's the tail and who's the dog, but either way this is a really bad animal because you have people who want to just give Wall Street all of the money and keep getting and let the extractive industries destroy the world. That's the McConnell side, that's the Mitt Romney side, right? Kill poor people so that bankers can have golden yachts. And then you have the Trumpist side who are just like, let's overthrow this our constitutional democracy so that we can install this goober as the dictator. This dude who's not done anything, right? Like he's just failed at everything
Ran a casino and he blew that too. I mean, that's not high-end work.
No, and everything he touches turns to poop, and he's just like.
Where's
like,
our poop image, Alana? You didn't have a pre-prepared poop image? Alana's our producer. How is that? How did that fall through the cracks?
The videos are really amazing, and what they showed yesterday was truly frightening. I looked into it.
Well, I don't know. People can just go Google it or whatever. But I saw the video of the policeman, running and kind of turning Mitt Romney around into turning him to safety.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to come? I mean, I feel like the Democrats absolutely had to go through with this. Otherwise, they would not be doing their civic duty. But what are we hoping? Are we hoping that there's 20 elected, I think it's 20 senators or Republicans in the Congress who are coming up for re-election in the next 2 years. Are we hoping that people are watching this on television and saying, we actually, Republicans, would like someone sane in the party, or we're going to skip to the Democrats because they're not socialist crazies and they just gave me $1,400? Like what's the outcome that we're going for?
I think there's two, and I do think so there's the political one, but then there is the constitutional one, the legal one. And Representative Raskin is so right. Like you have to, and we have to understand that this is bigger than right now. And we are lucky to live in the way that we do. And it's rare. If you look at the scale of history, the time when the people have the ability to choose their own government and to fire them when they're not working for them anymore is rare. And so when a president commits impeachable offenses, that president must be impeached. It doesn't matter if the politics are such that the coward Republicans are going to, quote unquote, acquit him. That doesn't mean he's innocent. He committed impeachable offenses in the first impeachment trial. Guilty. He committed impeachable offenses in this trial. Guilty. It's their duty to impeach him. Well, and then
go ahead.
There's the political side. The political side is, yes, I think, this cycle you saw a lot of suburban voters who are becoming a new swing vote, who might have been solidly Republican previously, but just don't have, especially women, just don't like Trumpism. They just
the Karens are coming around, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, or the Panera, and I that's like the wrong side of the Democratic strategy for me. I'm a big base person. I'm like, look, we need base, everything focused on base.
Yeah, let's Stephanie Abrams the whole country. Could we do that?
Stacey Abrams, definitely.
Stacey, sorry. I don't know.
And the other big constituency are seniors who came over in droves this cycle. And a lot of this stuff is aimed at them. It's aimed at showing, like, is this who you want? Is this who you are? Are you this? Are you someone who supports calls for violent revolution to overthrow the United States of America and its Constitution? And I think, sitting around those Paneras in the suburbs, you're just not finding a lot of people being like, yes, that's me. So those are the two aims, I think.
Alex Lawson, Executive Director of Social Security Works. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're watching Act TV. I'm Julianna Forlano. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share us with your friends. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.